I am leaving for Medina. If any man wants his wife to be a widow, let him stop me. Fatima, how dare you show him?
Umar, stop! He's my husband!
Then you betray me too!
Umar, do what you will. We believe.
Before he was the leader of the faithful, he was the fear of the streets. Before he was a saint, he was a giant who cast a shadow of terror over the early believers. This is the story of Umar ibn al-Khattab. In the narrow, dusty alleys of 7th century Mecca, one name silenced the crowds: Umar. He was a man of steel, a wrestler who never lost, and a judge whose word was final. But his heart was closed. To him, this new message of one God was a threat to the traditions of his forefathers. He didn't just disagree with Islam. He wanted to uproot it from the earth. It was a sweltering night in Mecca. Umar's frustration had reached its boiling point. He drew his sword, a blade that had never failed him, and stepped out into the dark. His target, the messenger of Allah. As he marched, he was stopped by a man who saw the murder in his eyes. "Where are you going, Umar?" the man asked. Umar
To
replied,
end the one who has split our people.
but the man laughed, a cold, nervous laugh.
Why don't you fix your own house first? Your sister Fatima and her husband, they have followed him.
Umar burst into his sister's home in the desert storm. He struck his brother-in-law. When Fatima stepped
husband!
in to protect him, Umar struck her too. But as blood trickled down her face, she didn't cower. She looked
Umar,
him in
do
the
what
eye.
you will. We believe.
Something in Umar broke. The giant stood still. He saw a page of parchment on the floor. He picked it up with hands that had just caused pain, and he began to read. Taha, we have not sent down the Quran to thee to be an occasion for thy distress. The words weren't like poetry. They weren't like the words of men. They were a direct strike to his soul. Umar did not go to the Prophet to kill. He went to surrender. When the door opened, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam grabbed him by his garment and asked, "Will you not stop, O Umar?" Umar, the man who feared no one, trembled. He whispered the Shahida.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
In that moment, the history of the world split in two. The Prophet cried out, Allahu Akbar, so loud that it echoed through the hills of Mecca. The enemy had become the brother. The persecutor had become the protector. The iron heart had finally melted. His relationship with the Prophet show his role as the strategist, the consultant whom the Quran often agreed with. After Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu passes away, Umar becomes Caliph. He stands on the pulpit and tells the people,
If I go astray, straighten me. We will straighten you with this.
While the world slept, the man who ruled the largest empire on earth was awake. Umar did not stay in a palace guarded by soldiers. He walked the streets alone, his face covered, listening. He wanted to hear the true voice of his people when they thought no one was watching. He once said,
If a lost sheep dies on the banks of the Euphrates, I fear that Allah will hold Umar accountable for it.
this was not just a saying, it was his burden. He didn't want to hear reports from his governors. He wanted to feel the hunger of the poor himself. One night, Umar heard the sound of weeping. He followed the sound to a tent where a woman sat by a pot. He watched as her children cried themselves to sleep.
Shh, it's alright. The stew is almost ready.
I'm so hungry, Mama.
I know, my
Umar
love,
asked,
just a little
disguised as
longer.
a traveler.
What is in the pot?
The woman looked up with eyes full of grief.
Stones. I'm boiling stones so my children will think food is coming, until they fall asleep from exhaustion. And between us and the Caliph Umar, Allah will judge. He eats his fill while we perish.
Umar didn't argue. He didn't reveal his identity. He turned and ran. He ran to the public treasury. He grabbed a heavy sack of flour and a jar of oil. His servant offered
Will
to
you
carry it.
carry my sins for me on a day of judgment?
He returned to the tent, blew into the fire until the smoke filled his beard, and cooked for the children with his own hands. He stayed until he saw them smile. A messenger from the great Roman Empire arrived in Medina, looking for the king of the Arabs. He expected a throne of gold. He expected silk curtains and ivory towers. He asked a passerby, "Where is your king?" The man pointed to a tree in the distance. There, in the dirt, lay Umar. No guards, no walls, no crown. The Roman messenger stood in shock and whispered,
You ruled with justice so you felt safe. And because you felt safe, you could sleep.
Umar ibn al-Khattab had realized the ultimate truth of leadership. Power is not found in the fear of the people, but in the peace of their souls. The world had seen many conquerors, but it had never seen a man like this. In the 18th year of the Hijrah, a darkness fell over the land. It was the year of ashes. A famine so severe it turned the soil to dust. While his people starved, Umar made a vow that shook the companions. He swore he would not taste meat, butter, or milk until every child in the Ummah was full. His skin turned dark from malnutrition. His body grew weak. When his stomach growled from hunger in the middle of a speech, he looked down and said,
Growl all you want. By Allah, you will taste nothing until the Muslims are satisfied.
He wasn't just a ruler, he was a shield. He was feeling the pain of the furthest person in the desert in his own flesh. As the famine lifted, a new shadow approached. Umar began to see signs that his time was near. He told the people of a dream, a rooster pecking him 3 times. He knew. He prayed to Allah,
O my Lord, my strength has weakened, my years have advanced, and my flock has spread. Take me to you, without being negligent or falling short. Grant me martyrdom in your path, and let my death be in the city of your messenger.
It seemed impossible. How could a man so loved and so powerful be killed in the heart of his own safe city? It was the morning prayer. The lines were straight. Umar began the prayer. In the second row, a man hidden by hate lunged forward. 3 stabs. The giant fell. Even as he lay bleeding on the floor, his first question wasn't about his wound. When they told him it was a non-believer, he whispered,
Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah, that my death was not at the hand of a man have ever prostrated once to him.
As he lay dying, he sent his son to Aisha, radiallahu anha. He didn't ask as a caliph, but as Umar. He asked for one final favor.
Bury me next to my 2 friends, the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr.
When the permission was granted, a smile finally returned to the face of Al-Farooq. He left the world with nothing but a few patches on his robe and a legacy that would rewrite human history. He was the man who feared Allah so much that the world feared no one but Allah. He was Umar, the one who distinguished truth from falsehood, the one who split the world. And though the lion of the desert is silent today, his justice still echoes in every heart that yearns for the truth.